will be Julian Cotto. The title of his speech is Precious Moments. Precious Moments, Julian Cotto.
Have you ever thought about those precious moments in your life? You know, those moments that give your life purpose and meaning. Those moments that give your life its sweetness and its hope. Precious moments are your life's spiritual treasures, that if you fail to grab them with all your heart, they go away, and you'll miss out on life's greatest treasures. When I was a little boy, way back then, I used to look up to my dad and think, boy, he's so big and strong. Back then, when I was small, I would feel 10 feet tall with my dad. When I would walk by his side, my heart would burst with pride. I cherished my dad. Then in 1996, when I was 42 years old, I received a phone call from my sister. Julian, it's Dad. He had a heart attack. It's pretty bad. I don't know how much longer he's going to be. You got to come to Miami right away. Hurry up. I couldn't believe it. That was my dad. He was only 68 years old. And now death was lurking at his door. So I rushed to the airport and got on the first airplane to Miami. I had a lot of mixed feelings about this, a lot of unresolved emotions. That song that so comforted me when I was a teenager kept playing over and over again in my mind. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you coming home, Dad? I don't know when, son, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. To Dad, home was just a place to sleep, shower, and eat. He was a good provider, mind you. We never lacked anything, except, of course, him. He was never around. He was too busy with life. There were always deals to chase and bills to pay and women to play. He was so busy with his life that he didn't realize it until it was too late that the most precious moments in his life had passed him by. That fantasy I had with my dad when I was a young kid had withered away by the time I was a teenager. My heart had been broken so many times that it just didn't matter anymore. I guess it was just self-preservation. But you know, I loved my dad. By the time I was in high school, our relationship was distant, just a shell. One afternoon we were in the kitchen together and I cried out, Dad, why don't we talk? Why don't we do something? He just stood there. He didn't know how to respond. That song that Cat Stevens made famous when I was a teenager comforted me because it made me feel as though somebody understood what I was going through in my relationship with my dad. When I was 42 years old, our relationship, we were just acquaintances. A rift had developed in our relationship over the many disappointments, over the many years. But you know, I still love my dad. And deep down inside, I believe he loved me too. But somehow or other, we just never connected. So when I received that phone call in 1996, all these emotions that I had bottled up inside of me welled up and left me confused. When I arrived in Miami, my in-laws picked me up at the airport and rushed me to the hospital. As I'm making my way to the ICU, there's my dad, clinging on to life by a thread. So I made my way to his bedside. I looked at him. He looked at me. His eyes welled up with tears. He was too weak to speak. So I held him, and I held him close. And in that moment, it's as if I could sense that he was trying to tell me, son, I am so sorry that I never made it to one of your baseball games. Son, I am so sorry that I never made it to your high school graduation. Son, I am so sorry that I never spent more precious moments with you. Oh, Dad! Then he passed away. It's amazing how short life is when you're taking your last breath. Here was a strong man of the house, now feeble and weak, regretting that he did not focus on the more important things of life. You know, I still love my dad. And in passing, he taught me a great lesson. Son, don't leave this life with regrets. Did you learn that lesson from Dad? Take time to make precious moments with your loved ones, because regret is a terrible price to pay for those precious